is a champion, the miserable pile of pixels.
Hello there, summoners! It's about damn time to end the Season 5 circle by lastly now going into the top lane champions and see which ones are the best of the best. Even though Season 5 is now over, I still think these picks will be quite viable for the Preseason 6 as well. My name is Hepodix and hope you enjoy the video.
Where is the thrill of carnage?
Sion the Undead Juggernaut is the tenacious and tanky behemoth who can be a viable jungler but works in either one of the solo lanes too, especially top lane after the late Season 4 rework. Sion's laning phase is amazing as you can control top lane greatly with the smart use of Decimating Smash and Roar of the Slayer, which forces the enemy to get struggled over and over when timed correctly. His second ability, Soul Furnace, gives him a shield strong enough to mitigate most of the harass, and his ultimate, Unstoppable Onslaught, gives him an excellent roaming and initiation potential as you will be running great distances across the rift. Sion's ultimate also reminds me of Malphite's ultimate as you cannot be crowd controlled either during the process. Overall, Sion can be a very dominant top lane choice, but he lacks true survivability besides the ultimate, so Sion can be easily ganked if he is not fully aware of the circumstances around him. Cho'Gath, the Terror of the Void, is one of the classic solo laners, as his adaptation to the top lane is quite phenomenal, even though his versatility makes him a viable jungler as well. First of all, Cho'Gath's laning presence works out well because of his passive Carnivore, which lets him restore some health and mana back from any type of enemy or structure destroyed. That mixed with the abilities Rupture, which makes and knocks enemies up after a small delay, Feral Scream that silences and damages enemies in a cone, plus Vorpal Spikes that converts your auto attacks into a volley of spikes, makes him an ideal Arion effect and beefy ability power tank combined. With the ultimate Feast, Cho'Gath will deal a ton of true damage into a single target, and if he slays the enemy you will gain size, bonus health and attack range up to 6 stacks, but like with Sion's, Cho'Gath lacks true escape value, so it comes down to a smart use of that crowd control to adapt it to different situations.
Behold the might of the Shadow Isles.
Hecarim the Shadow of War is the high mobility attack damage bruiser who features excellent ganking and initiation potential, which makes him flexible throughout the game. His passive ability Warpath converts his bonus movement speed into bonus attack damage. That combined with Devastating Charge, which gives Hecarim bonus movement speed and knocks back his target, along with Onslaught of Shadows that makes Hecarim immune to CC and lets him dash great distance forward, which makes him really terrifying when it comes to actual speed and presence. With Rampage and Spirit of Dread, Hecarim will also get a nice AoE cleave plus healing combined, which all in total makes him a great top laner, as well as his jungle presence is not too bad either.
Show them the strength of Demacia!
Garen the Might of Demacia is a tanky attack damage bruiser who can initiate with disturbing presence and simply just do the good old spin to win. He can keep himself quite healthy with his passive, Perseverance and second ability Courage, and Garen gets decent damage and utility from Decisive Strike and Judgment, while Demacian Justice will finish with its reliable magic damage or true damage, if the target is the marked villain. Overall, Garen can be very dominant top lane champion, but he is very reliant on his cooldowns in order to make it really successful.
Ionia shall not fall.
Irelia, the Will of the Blades, is a feared assassin who is very capable at targeting carries due to her scary presence and passive Ionian fervor that grants her extra tenacity up to 40%. Irelia's kit consists Blade Surge that lets you dash into the enemy, and if it kills its targets the cooldown will reset instantly, and her second ability Equilibrium Strike, which will either stun if you have less or equal health, or slow if you have more health than your opponent. On top of that, Irelia has Hidden Style that lets you heal with your basic attacks, and upon activation you will also deal bonus true damage and ultimate Transcended Blades that enables you to shoot 4 Spirit Blades which deal and heal some damage, so with all combined makes Irelia a tanky assassin to pick up and play.
Surprise! I'm back.
Jax the Grandmaster at Arms is another one of the classic top laners, even though he can be very effective jungler as well. His strength comes mainly from his great dueling potential, as well as able to dodge auto attacks and stun enemies by using Counter-Strike. Jax also gets very high base stats and damage, as well as he can jump into enemies with Leap Strike that comes out useful, and he is also able to adapt into both offensive and defensive situations quite nicely. All in all, Jax is no doubt one of the strongest bruisers around, but he can be heavily disrupted with high amounts of crowd control.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
Fiora, the Grand Duelist, became quite a viable attack damage bruiser during Season 5, as she now aims for the enemy's vitals in order to make it out successfully. Her first ability, Lunge, lets Fiora dash and poke out some damage, which works greatly as a position tool. With Riposte, Fiora can parry any damage or immobilized effect for the next 0.75 seconds, and afterwards she will either slow the enemy if parried damage only, or stun the enemy if she receives hard crowd control ability. Fiora's ultimate Grand Challenge reveals the enemy's all 4 vitals, which can result into true damage burst and will give a heal zone around your champion's area for up to 5 seconds. Blade Work also gives Fiora 2 boosted auto attacks, where the first slows and the second hit guaranteely critically strikes, which all in total can be weird to approach at first sight, but after learning how to smartly use her abilities, especially Riposte, she really becomes quite a nasty top lane champion to play against.
Who's next on the chopping block?
Renekton, the Butcher of the Sands, who can deal out nasty amounts of damage alongside with some sustain, crowd control and mobility, makes him really a scary AD bruiser. Instead of mana, Renekton has no spell costs, but rather he has an additional Fury resource bar that allows him to enhance his abilities even to a higher extent and keep him well healthy in the battlefield. His laning pressure is also very effective, as you can combine your spells in the way that you won't be taking much pressure back, especially versus melee champions, but ultimately it's the ranged champions that can cause you the trouble, as it won't be as easy to gap close them.
Is it cold in here? Or is it just me?
Lissandra is a flexible mage who excels well when it comes to crowd control, mobility and high amounts of damage output. Lissandra's strength as a mage comes from her insane amount of utility and AoE damage from her abilities, as she can engage players by using Glacial Path and Frozen Tomb, followed by Ring of Frost and Ice Shard to deal massive burst altogether. She also gets free spell casts thanks to her passive Iceborne, and if you get into trouble you can just cast the ultimate on yourself to get immunity for 2.5 seconds and even receive some of your missing health back. Overall, Lissandra is a very reliant top or mid lane mage, but if she gets caught with no cooldowns available, it will be a devastating end to the Ice Witch. Before we seek out the number 1 for the Season 5, let's first take a look at some of the honorable top lane mentions. Darius is generally a strong solo top laner due to his durability and harassment capabilities, and he is known for his devastating physical and true damage output combined. Dr. Mundo is known for his extreme tankness thanks to his high health regeneration sources, and he can perform well either in the top lane or jungle since he is manaless champion as well. Gangplank is the pirate lord of Bilgewater, whose rework gave him some interesting changes, as he comes out surprisingly strong when you get to learn the power keg mechanics properly and how to adapt into different situations to come. Gnar is the cute prehistoric Yordle who excels in transforming between mini and mega forms. Both of Gnar's forms offer an interesting gameplay, and they have clear strengths and weaknesses when it comes to different situations around. Jace is an interesting champion due to his weapon transforming system and has great flexibility, enabling him to adjust to most situations. Lulu is one of the most versatile champions in the game who can be played in any one of the lanes, but her high utility and great lane presence makes Lulu quite powerful solo top laner too. Malphite is the rock solid tank who can have a very neutral and stable laning phase, but when it comes to initiating and teamfights, his ultimate unstoppable force is an insane gap closer to whip those enemies up in the air. Maokai is also another great initiating champion who was originally played as a jungler but later on adapted into top lane as well. His crowd control from Arcane Smash and Twisted Advance combined with the sustain from Vengeful Maelstrom makes him very dreadful Twisted Trent indeed. Nasus is known for his passive early game, as you need to stack damage towards Siphoning Strike, but later the game goes, the scarier his presence becomes throughout the rift. Olaf is the vicious Viking who can chase down enemies effectively by using Undertow. Also, the true damage from Reckless Wing mixed with Ragnarok grants him crowd control immunity, making him truly deadly chaser, as players have to kite or play it smart to overcome the situation. Rengar is known for his amazing jungle presence, but can also dominate the top lane as well. When taking advantage from the brushes and his passive Unseen Predator, you can easily melt down squishier targets in just a few seconds. Rumble is the Yordle mechanic whose abilities are based around his heat system that lets him nearly spam his spells constantly, and while near overheat he does even more damage in a total. Though it's important to find the balance when using the spells, because overheating will silence you and can get you killed rather easily too. Ryze is known for his high magic output, as you're able to spam your spells very often, but you need to get the mana items in order to be successful, because that and cooldown reduction together makes him quite powerful caster overall. Shen is the flipping tank ninja whose laning phase is very passive, but what makes his presence scary is his AoE taunt Shadow Dash and ultimate Stand United that lets you shield one of your allies and teleport next to them. Singed can be very beefy and annoying when it comes to top lane control, plus he's also hard to catch because of the nasty abilities up his sleeve. Last but not least, Tryndamere is known for his devastating damage thanks to his capabilities to critically strike often, and is also one of the best duelists thanks to his ultimate, Undying Rage.
What conflict awaits?
Riven the Exile is a flow-based fighter who can perform aggressive combo attacks, as her high mobile fighting style makes her a really momentum-based character. She can do many sorts of ability combinations to fit the situation, because with Broken Wings and Key Burst you'll apply massive damage and crowd control, and on top of that Riven can sustain with Valor, do shield and even reposition herself. Riven's ultimate, Blade of the Exile, grants her bonus attack damage, auto attack range along with enhanced Broken Wings and Key Burst, plus upon activation she releases Wind Slash that deals massive damage in a cone to all enemies hit. Ultimately, Riven is a very dominant top lane champion to play, but it's the way you execute your combos that will separate the good and bad Riven players all around. Alright, so that covers up the top 10 Season 5 top lane champions, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe for new League of Legends and other gaming videos to come. That's about it for this time, my name is Hepodix and have a nice day.